Hey everyone, I wanted to real quickly address the issue of church and the Bible and missions and um, the things that Christians do. One very strong reason that people decide to put off coming to Christ is because they don't want to do those things. They don't want to start going to church or reading the Bible, and it's totally understandable, because if you don't know why you do those things, then church can be insufferably boring. The Bible can be unsatisfying if you don't know what you're looking for, and missions can be a total flop. So let me take them one at a time as fast as I can do it. All church is people who have been saved getting together. When you hear a big word like congregation, you can congregate for any purpose. All that means is people getting together. If you invite some friends over to watch a football game, you all are congregating to do that. So that's all that word means. But church is just the coming together of people who have been saved, who have been born again, who have come to Jesus. That's all it is in its essence. But if you go to a church meeting and you don't understand that, you're going out of guilt, possibly. That's the worst reason in the world to go to church, because you feel guilty for not doing so. Because then what will happen is you'll be bored out of your mind, and you might start yawning, and then you'll feel even guiltier for having been bored in church. But I think the reason that church is boring to a lot of people is because they don't really know why they're doing it. Church is just the natural desire to not be a saved person by yourself. You want to be with other saved people because it's such a wonderful thing to be free. And that's really why you should assemble. It doesn't have to be in a traditional church building. You could do it at a McDonald's. However, or in the Bible, people met in their own houses a lot of times. But traditional church buildings are set up much better for the experience. You can house more people usually, and they have a pastor, and the pastor is someone who has really stuck his head in the Bible and can teach. You want to have somebody that can teach you competently. Speaking of the Bible, why should I read the Bible? You shouldn't read the Bible out of guilt either, because the Bible will actually reveal even more guilt. It has a way of doing that. If that's why you're reading it, it exposes our guilt a lot of times. But a better reason to read the Bible is because it's God's Word. It's the truth. And when you want to know truth, that's when reading the Bible becomes exciting. You say, well, hey, what truth can I learn today? And that's the reason to read the Bible. If you don't have that reason to read the Bible, it won't help. I mean, you may be led into a useful passage, but you don't really know. You want to have a reason for reading the Bible. Until you have it, you might not want to. It might not be time to start doing that. Eventually, when you get to know God, you'll want to know His truth, because the world is pretty confusing without any kind of compass. And the Bible is the ultimate compass, and that's why you want to read it. Okay, missions. A lot of people say, well, boy, I don't want to give my heart to Jesus. I'm going to end up in Africa as a missionary, and I'll be miserable. Ironically, some of my happiest friends actually are African missionaries, but that may not be where he wants you. Jesus said, go into Judea, Samaria, and all over the world. Judea and Samaria would have been equivalent to your local city, the closer places. The reason for doing missions is not out of guilt either. I've never been to Africa. Your mission field may be your street. It may be YouTube. I don't know. But the reason to do missions is because you love people that are lost, and you don't want them to be lost. You want them to come to Christ. But if you try to do missions without having a specific burden for a specific people group, such as African people or Orientals or just any geographical area you want to choose, if you don't have that burden, you're going to try to do it, and you're not going to be prepared to learn a new language, eat strange food, possibly sleep outside, and encounter all the same resistance that you would if you were doing it on your street. You really have to be called to the mission, to that kind of mission field. We're all called to spread the good news. But, you know, when a couple's expecting a baby, they spread the good news everywhere. That's what it is. They're spreading that particular, and by the way, the word gospel just means good news. We've made things so religious, and that's a turnoff because people don't understand what we're talking about. The gospel means the good news. All right, I've got to sum it up. I don't want it to be this long, really. Church is just getting together with other saved people. That's what it is. The Bible is God's word. It is truth. It is the most valuable information you can find. But read it with a desire to uncover truth and to have it revealed to you. Don't read it because you feel guilty. I've got to read my Bible for 5 hours. Don't. Not for that reason. And missions, you have to do a lot of listening and heart listening to figure out where your mission field might be, where you go. It may be your local coffee shop. I can't tell you that. But oh my gosh, do not get a plane ticket and go to Africa and try to minister to some tribe when you don't have that burden, that leading to do it. I've never done that. Hopefully this has been helpful. All I'm trying to do is help people who have reservations about coming to Christ for reasons like this, having to do certain things. Okay, if you are ready to come to Christ, there's another video called Invitation on this channel. You really don't need it to come to Christ. All you need to do is possibly close your eyes and ask Him into your heart. That video is very short, and it just guides you through that process, or I try to. Okay, it's early morning here, so good morning if you're listening in the morning. I hope you have a great day. If you're listening in the evening, I hope you did have a great day. Peace.